returning to the Sheena Metal Experience, two of my favorite guys from the band Louden Swain, singer and guitar player Rob Benedict, and you know him from his acting in many things, including the hit TV show Supernatural, and his guitar player Billy Moran, and I've known both of them for forever, as long as there's been a Louden Swain band, and they're going to play for us live in the studio today, and we're going to talk, and we're going to play some stuff from their CD, A Brand New Hurt, and I know I've told you guys this, but I'm going to say it on the air to make it official, that your song, All I Need, that we played last time you were here in January, is now the most requested song so far for 2010 on my syndicated music show, Music Highway.
Woo, love that.
That's awesome.
And as I was telling Rob before the show, I think we've missed maybe like 3 weeks it hasn't been requested, and normally it's so requested that it gets played first.
Wow. We got to look at those 3 weeks.
You don't have to listen to the whole show. So, Rob, you must feel like you're sitting on top of the world. We just had the Supernatural season finale where it was revealed that your character is God, and that must be kind of a good feeling.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's trippy. It's a big cross to bear.
For horror fans internationally.
Yes, yeah.
Even though everyone in LA thinks they're God.
It's true. It's true.
Your character may actually be.
I just got validation.
And you guys took, I know we talked about fan conventions when you were here before. You guys took Louden Swain to a Supernatural convention.
Yeah, we did. We were at the Los Angeles convention, and it was like, it was the coolest experience, right?
It was totally great, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just like so many people. There's the fans of that show are amazing and so supportive, and a lot of them knew our music, and it was just like a great rock concert.
Was it what every band wants? Because I know we've all been in bands our whole life. How many times do you hear bands say, you know what I want? I want to play a packed show to people that really want to be there listening to my music, not people that are just there to like pick up chicks or they're talking while we're playing. But I mean, it's
totally
was the dream.
I was like, this is what it's like to be Eddie Vedder. You know, I really did. I felt like, and he's my.
That's right. You wanted to be Eddie Vedder.
He's my idol, and yeah, I was like, this is. I mean, literally, almost. They were like saying, "Take your clothes off," and I almost did. I was that into it. That I literally, there was a moment where I took my tie off and threw it into the crowd, and then I started to unbutton my shirt, and Billy gave me a look like, dude, don't really. Yeah, you don't want to go out like
There's
that.
a lot of press here.
A lot of cameras here.
Yeah, exactly. Fangoria is here. Do you really want that?
Slow it down. Slow your roll, man.
But, I mean, to me, that's like one of those really euphoric gigging moments where you know the audience is so psyched for you to be there.
Yeah.
And it's a rock star moment.
It really is.
It's how you must feel like when you, like you said, when you're an A-list rock band.
Yeah.
And
well,
you're
cool
in an arena.
People are listening to every word, and, you know, sort of like they want to hear the songs. They're excited and just happy to be there. And, you know, we play in LA. It's an oversaturated market. There are a lot of rock bands. So it is an exception to play, especially in Los Angeles, for a group of like hundreds of people who really want to be there, and they had big jumbotrons, so it was really it felt like the real experience, you know.
Nice. Yeah, and isn't for you, Rob? That's what it's all about, right? Is being a multi-genre artist.
Yeah,
is to let all the things work off each other.
It really was.
So you can play at the conventions, and the film and TV work helps the music, and the music helps the film and TV work, and everything moves forward.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It was a really cool moment for me personally. To have them feed into each other, and you know, and the appreciation that people had for us and for me was like it was really touching. It was awesome.
Now, when I had you here in January, did you have any idea how the end of the season was going to work out at the time?
No, you being a recurring character on the show, I don't know much until I get the script or the call. And you know, when I first read the script, I was like, I didn't know how to interpret it, and then Kripke called me, you know, and then I went up there and people were like, so how does it feel? I'm like, okay, so I guess that's what it is, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I didn't know, and it really wasn't verified till I got off the plane in Vancouver, like, okay, so that's what this is. Okay, all right, sure. You know, so, I'm
gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
I read the script, but actors do weird things when they read their own characters, and it seemed like God.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I didn't, you know, and I still think, you know, the way that it's done, I think he's a genius, and I think it's still open to interpretation, but
sure.
But yeah,
and I like that.
Totally. But that was the word on the streets, but I didn't know until I got the script. It was crazy.
It's interesting because Supernatural has gone from being a really good monster and ghost show, you know, a la Buffy.
Yeah.
To really with the Armageddon and Heaven and Hell storyline turning into something that really has revolutionized television. I was watching, I was catching up on a whole bunch of episodes because I had been really, really busy, and I was watching the episode where Sam and Dean go to the small town and they've got the guns and they're all demon crazy and they're sitting in the church listening to the girl they think is a prophet. And I thought, you know, I can't believe that I'm watching this kind of stuff
Yeah.
on a nighttime drama.
Yeah, on the
I mean,
CW.
when did you ever think that you would sit in front of a television and see characters that were based on real historical angels and things from the Bible
Yeah.
all played out in this really cool,
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction, interesting way? I mean, to
Yeah.
me, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, and on network television. I mean, it's the CW, and it's pretty edgy. I mean, it's pretty dark too. I mean, that show gets dark. But I thought I tripped out when I watched the finale.
Oh my God,
the long
the acting.
long scenes of with no backing music. Just that, it was really quiet. It was really quietly done, which normally there's a lot of music going on, and these long scenes between actors that it was intense.
That are also an actor's dream.
Yeah, totally.
Where you get to really watch people acting like they would in a play.
Totally.
For a long stretch.
Yeah, they're great lines. I mean, he writes great lines for us.
It really has become one of those really good shows where it's almost like each episode is a little mini movie.
Right.
It's more like shot like a movie than it is shot like a TV show.
Yeah, it is. Especially that finale really felt that way. If it was heavy. It was like tingly at the end,
That's fantastic. Now,
Yeah.
does something like that, what does that do for you as an actor, and what does it do for the band?
Well, the band, it's been great because the fans of the show are, they like they like having finding out more about the show and people on the show. So it's been great for the band. It's opened up our music to a whole new audience. And in terms of me, it's always, I've been doing this now for 15 years, and it goes, it's a roller coaster. But the pattern you do see is when you do something like that, doors just start to open, and that's why you just kind of keep moving forward. And you do. I rarely, I don't like to say no, because you never know what something's going to turn into. I mean,
I think it's smart to say yes.
This was a one-off. Chuck was a one-off part,
Right.
that turned into this, great recurring character. So, so you always kind of, I'm always curious to see where things lead, and so doors open,
Is this the biggest show that you've been on for the longest period of time?
Well, I was on Felicity for 4 years. And
That's true, and that was pretty big. Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't have the fan crazy
No, it was
horror
a different kind of
convention
thing. Yeah,
thing.
it was a different kind of thing. And Threshold probably could have been that, but it just
Don't
beat it
even
out.
get me started on Threshold. It was funny because yesterday I had a guest on and we were talking about shows that are misunderstood, and he brought up Surface.
Uh-huh.
And that was the year that I lost faith in the networks,
Yeah.
because I remember one had Threshold, one had Surface, one had Invasion. I
Yeah.
love them all, and they all got canceled.
Yeah.
And Threshold could have been like the coolest, the next X-Files. Mm-hmm. And I think it just, people didn't understand it. It was just
You don't
over people's
understand
heads.
it. Yeah, and I don't think CBS understood it. I think I
clearly.
think they wanted to make it kind of into CSI, and it wasn't that show.
But it could have been CSI meets X-Files.
Right.
I mean, it could have been the best of both.
And I think there are just too many cooks in the kitchen, and it just kind of And it was the only show. I think it lasted 13 episodes, and they just didn't. It's such a money thing too, and it comes down to okay, we got to lose that one, and that was the one that they lost. But it's amazing to me, 13 episodes, and I think 9 aired. So many people still come up to me and ask me about that show, especially this group of fans for Supernatural, because it's a crossover kind of genre show. So people love that show for as short-lived as it was.
Yeah. And that's great too. I mean, even if you're in something that you love, that was amazing, that then didn't make it because of someone's short sight, still fans remember.
Yeah, and also, and I say this at the conventions we get to do is, it's in theater you get that applause. It's in television there's like a crew guy who's like, dude, that was pretty good.
That's great. You want a Coke?
It was funny. Yeah. And so it's nice to get the recognition. It's nice to get that acknowledgement.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. And I think, the cool thing is, like we talked about last time you were here, when you're 80, you can go to fan conventions. and that's neat. And for different things, and who knows what you will have done by then.
Yeah.
You're like, no, Monday I've got horror, Tuesday sci-fi, Wednesday I got the Old West convention. I mean, that's kind of cool.
They wheel me on stage with a guitar in my lap.
Billy with this big white cool afro and a really long, like ZZ Top kind of white beard. But isn't that kind of cool, the way that in the last 10 years, maybe 15 with the internet, that fans have become so involved in everything because it's so easy for them to get together and talk.
Yeah, you look at totally, and talk with us. I mean, that's something that's look at like Twitter, where it really allows you conversation. I mean, certainly I can't really respond to everybody who writes, but it does allow for some sort of communication between people.
And do you have a Facebook page as well?
Yeah. I mean, I have a personal one that I really don't even go to anymore. But my main communication with people has been through Twitter.
Through Twitter.
The band has the Facebook page.
Right.
And the band has a Twitter account. There's always MySpace.
Billy, do you run the band Facebook page?
We kind of all take turns, but
They're better at it than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you're better with Twitter. You're better with the immediacy of now I'm thinking about it,
Totally.
I shall tweet.
Exactly.
Instead of, when I get home, I'm going to spend 5 hours on Facebook.
Totally. Facebook becomes a big responsibility that a lot of people, you got your family and friends, and Twitter's just easy. It's like, short-term memory like me, you just kind of get a thought out and then you move on.
Yeah. And people do it. It's weird because everything has become so immediate now. And I love with Facebook where if you post a link, they'll put the player up and people can just click on it. It's really become like a touch and go world and our mentality has become that.
Yeah.
So you can tweet and people can immediately click and there they are.
There it is.
And it's so amazing to me. And I know just from a radio, this is the first radio show I've ever done that archived and that was available on the internet. It's not like, oh, you missed it? Well, you missed it. Too bad.
Right.
I don't think with our mentality now that people can even remember
Right.
to turn on a show when it comes on
No.
or turn on a radio show when it comes on.
Your TiVo gets it.
It's like, I just want it immediately, and there it is. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I think that's... And
Yeah.
people can get it from all around the world. I mean, there was a time when people would have to wait 5 years to get a show or 5 years for a radio show to get there.
Well, traveling around, I just went to this convention in Australia, and they don't they're not caught up to what just aired, but they're all caught up because it's all on the internet. And
Right, because they all go to Amazon or they go to Netflix.
They kind of
and
sheepishly say I saw it online. I don't care that you went, and I'm glad you caught up.
Yeah.
Otherwise you probably wouldn't know who Chuck is.
Yeah.
But
who are you? We're only on season 2.
Exactly.
Are you the Wendigo?
Exactly.
Who are you? That's so true. Yeah.
So it allows.
And what
people...
are Australian fans like? Because they're kind of out on the fringe where not a lot of people come and see them.
They're very, very close to the American fans with accents. I mean, they're a group of people that all communicate together. They all know each other. But there were 350 people in Sydney, and then a different group of 350 people in Melbourne, and they were intense. They were all rabid fans and really into it. And now, people supposedly. Someone called from Russia. They're trying to get something together in Russia. I didn't even know Supernatural played in Russia, but it's,
I think it plays everywhere.
Crazy.
Yeah.
The guys are in, I think Misha's in Paris this weekend at a convention.
And it will live, in the places that don't get as saturated with television and media as we do. That'll become the main thing. I have a friend that was on Little House on the Prairie, and she gets requests to go to Europe all the time and appear because they still play that, Dallas, and something else on network television at night.
That's awesome.
Because it's a whole different world where they don't get as much as we get. We get it, we show it, we're done with it, go find it on the internet.
Yeah.
But in other places, they hold on to stuff. It's like when you meet guys out here that come out here to go to Musicians Institute, and they're like, hey, do you like Thin Lizzy? And, do you like, they're all into these 70s bands because it still lives there in Europe.
Yeah.
They don't just throw things away when they get old the way that we do. Okay, what are you into now? They're still cultivating the classics. That's why metal bands go there and tour.
Yeah, it's like a time machine.
So would you guys set up a Louden Swain tour where the band kind of follows you to conventions and either you play the convention and or maybe play around in the area while you're there?
Yeah, we're working on that right now. There have been a lot of requests to have us play the conventions. A lot of times the conventions can't necessarily handle the what we need, just the system we need to play out.
Right.
But so there's talk about we played the LA convention. We might play a couple other conventions, or we may just set up some gigs and set up a mini tour around where it's going to be.
Right.
Because I feel like people will travel.
And could you play acoustic and just take Billy?
Sure. Billy?
For places that were...
Yeah,
Billy's up to do anything. That's the cool thing. If I said, Billy, you want to come to my house and play? Sure. Yeah.
That's
I'll
easy.
come over.
Yeah, we could totally do that. That's pretty easy. It's when you throw in drums and we all electrify, which
is fun.
When you throw in Norton. Now, when you throw in drums and we all electrify, then it's which is how we prefer to play. But yeah, I'd do that too. I usually get a buddy. I get a buddy ticket.
Yeah.
You want to come? Great. I want to get invited.
Do you want to be his traveling companion?
You heard it here live.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's play something from the album, and then you guys are going to play in studio for me, which is awesome.
Okay.
So, A Brand New Hurt was really new when you brought it here in January, so it's still new. And have you been getting lots of radio play and good feedback from it?
We're getting great feedback. It's really getting out there. And again, the internet, it's great for music acts like us these days, and there's so many different channels, and people are hearing it and really liking it, and it's been great.
Are you finding the more television that you do and the more your name gets out there, is it increasing sales of people buying it, people downloading it?
Yeah, definitely. You find that like there'll be swells of people.
Because you said fans knew your music when you played.
Absolutely, yeah. It's definitely when Supernatural started and the fans found out I was in a band, that the band interest went up.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, it's awesome.
I think that's great. I mean, anything that happens in anybody's life that helps promote the band.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and the band has always been, it's been something where we write this music, we're passionate about it, and if people find it. That's awesome, but we're going to keep doing it, but to get that response, it's a huge amount of gratification comes from people hearing it touching them, people, saying it got me through the day. I mean, we get all these great notes from all around the world right now, just people saying, wow, that such and such song really, got me through this hard point in my life last week.
Yeah, that was
right.
Yeah, one of those was great. I mean, it's touching a lot of people, and the great thing is the response has been overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah,
it's like typically,
people
with
are
the
like
actor musician, it's like you get a lot of the oh wow, well he's a great actor, but the band is but
yeah, you kind of have that. I mean, there is that sort of hangover, like, oh great, it's another he's who's an actor musician,
Keanu.
Yeah, like a Keanu,
right?
But nothing, no offense against Dog Star,
right? But different kind of music.
But yeah, but people have been the overwhelming positive response, which is great.
Well, the nice thing is you're hitting a market that's just fans.
Yeah, right.
Because just regular people who love to be fans.
Right.
Because, all of our friends are all in 3 bands, have 4 acting projects,
right.
are directing an indie film at the same time, and you're like, hey, you want to come see my show? Well, I'm directing 2 indie films that day, so we in LA you don't get exposed a lot to just fans.
Yeah, it's true.
Because your fans are also artists usually, and your friends.
Oh, totally.
And doing
You're just
things,
like, dude, can you just come to the gig on Friday? Yeah, when we at the LA convention, I was like, where did you guys come from? Because this is LA, and these are fans.
They're like Riverside,
yeah, totally.
Orange County,
and I'm like, where's that?
It's this amazing thing. It's called Suburbs. Okay, we're gonna play Ready Steady, and you said this is a little bit more of a
it's a little bit slower, a sensitive song, a little deeper in the CD that people have been recently telling me they're finding and really liking. So I thought I'd share it.
That's fantastic. Okay, this is Louden Swain from Louden Swain. Rob Benedict and Billy Moran are in the studio with me, and this is from their album A Brand New Hurt. The song's called Ready Steady. It's the Sheena Metal Experience, LA Talk Radio. Let's play some great music.
Should I try to enlist?
Sheena Metal Experience, LA Talk Radio. That's Louden Swain. The song is called Ready Steady. That's from their album A Brand New Hurt. And from the band Louden Swain, actor Rob Benedict is in the studio with us, and also he plays guitar and sings, and guitar player Billy Moran is in the studio with us as well. How do you guys decide how to break down the guitar parts? I mean, I always wonder about that, because when you have two guitar players in a band, or sometimes three, how do you figure out who's going to play what? I mean, do you play straight rhythm and Billy plays straight leads?
Well, for the most part, that's the way it breaks down. Billy is a really talented, gifted guitar player, and really, there are a lot of times, Billy does a lot of the color, he does all the leads, and and on some stuff he did the rhythm too when we recorded it. He's just really good, and so it's the sort of thing where, like, sometimes I'll lay it down, it came out well, we'll keep it. If not, then Billy would take a go at it. But Billy's,
and I'm all about that. I've done topics on Music Highway about that. Don't insist on playing if you're not the best player. You can be great live, but if you've got somebody who plays better, put them on the record.
That's what's really fun about our band, is like a handful of these songs I wrote just me on my guitar, and then I take it into the band, and they sort of mold it into something that it becomes, and so it was and some of these songs we hadn't played live before we recorded them, so we were writing it in the studio, and Billy would come up with colorful parts and be like, that turn it, record that, so it really is and then your final process is, now how are we going to play this live?
I think for Ready Steady, it was really, you emailed the track and it was pretty polished, and I'm like, don't even touch this, let's put it on the album as it is. But then obviously we started playing around with it in rehearsal, and it just got more and more evolved. But it was really the core of that song is pretty much exactly how Rob sent it. We just added some color and stuff, but I mean, for the most part, it was pretty untouched.
Yeah, but it's a playful thing. We just kind of like play around. I might throw something on, I might have an idea and give it to Billy. I might say, Billy, try something like this, and then he'll do it. That's what's really fun about when Billy joined the band. We really took us to another level. We were able to expand our sound a lot, and some of the sounds he makes on this album are really, I listen to it now, I'm like, oh, that's right, we did that, because it's way back in the mix, but it sounds like a keyboard, and it's Billy. He was doing a lot of cool instrumental stuff.
And Rob, when you write,
that's a musical term.
Do you need to be alone, quiet, or can you just, things come to you like at Jerry's Deli and you're writing them down?
As high as I can. No,
I get some good desert tweak.
Really good weed. No, I have got to be by myself, and I'll just I have a place like in my house that I really like to write, and sometimes it'll hit me like middle of the night, that kind of thing, and I'll run up and grab the guitar and just like scribble down words, and the next day they don't make any sense. But so there definitely have to be by myself.
So you come up with like the lyrics and a melody line.
Yeah, for a handful of these songs, that's the way it worked. I came up with the chords and the lyrics, and then I'd bring it into them, and then we just kind of have a process where we kind of chop it apart and add this and this and this, and they help me arrange it, and then it kind of morphs into this new thing.
The interesting thing with All I Need was, it was actually an error. We were at rehearsal one day, and you were like leaning against your guitar, and those first two notes, he was like hitting that with his arm somehow. We're like, well, that sounds kind of like a melody. So we built that song in rehearsal. So it's awesome. Two different approaches.
Two of my favorite songs on the album were the band organically coming up with it from scratch, which are Pop Tart Heart and All I Need. They really were band songs that just came from us sort of playing around with melodies.
And sometimes, Billy, do you write something that you love and just give it to him and say, can you throw words on the top of this?
Yeah, in some cases, yeah. I mean, it's
Vance.
Vance was one of them, yeah.
And there's a song on the album called Miss Vance. He sent me like 4 songs, and 3 of which are still songs we could still record.
Yeah.
And I sent him back to him with lyrics and Mrs. Vance.
New melody, totally new melody, which I love.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because I'd be like, what do you think a melody was? He's like, think of something. And then I would send it to him, and he's like, that's not at all what I was thinking. And I love that.
Exactly.
Is that harder for you to write lyrics once the music is done? Because I think, I know there's 2 schools with bands. A lot of bands write, well, the music comes first, and the lyricist has to figure it out. And that kind of amazes me, because as somebody who writes just lyrics, I think it's much easier to write your little poem out and then give it to somebody, and they make the music.
Yeah, I think it's easier for me to sing along with something that's already written, and a weird phrase will pop into my head that sometimes, and then it links to this whole other body of words, and then a story will come out. I mean, that's how a lot of times it happens, and sometimes it's the Pop-Tart Heart lyrics are kind of dreamlike and that just kind of came from phrases and stuff that then I kind of linked together. But yeah, I do kind of like, you'll start to sing something and your tongue will just kind of form a word or two and you're like, ooh, that's kind of a cool lyric, and then it'll just spark my mind about, a story or something.
It's fantastic. It's I don't think any of us really understand where it comes from. It's like 1 minute it's not there, and the next minute it's in your head, and then it's just pouring out. It's but it definitely is a yin and yang where you hear a little phrase of music, then you want to write lyrics, or vice versa. And then the more you build, it's like when you build something out of Legos. The more it goes up, the more you put on it. It just keeps feeding off of each other.
Yeah, totally.
I think that's awesome. Do you guys? Is there a lot of the songs change a lot to when you're in the studio?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely evolve. I think, for instance, Mrs. Vance, I mean, I think we had a lot of ideas once we started rehearsing that song, and a lot of different counter melodies and stuff, and Borja came in with a lot of backing vocals, and so it's definitely come a long way since the day that I sent Rob that track. So
yeah, and some of these tracks are more studio songs that we wrote in the studio, and some are more All I Need and Pop-Tart Heart. Some of the first like 4 or 5 songs on the album, we kind of knew what it was going to be. But then the deeper tracks, we were kind of writing as we went, and which is fun too. It's like, that's a fun creative. The recording process can be such a cool creative process.
Because you're all there together and you're all hungry to be creative, and then ideas just start coming out.
Yeah, I'm sure that's and now I get too when bands get signed to a major label and then they got to make their major label album, and the stress of that can be hard on creativity, and then you'll see bands rise above that and best album ever, and then other bands you're like, oh, when they went big, it didn't. And I can see that it's the buckling under the trying to be that creative while you're on the clock is it's a different thing.
Well, and also sometimes bands 10 years of polishing the songs, getting them right, throwing out the ones that weren't as popular, bringing in a new one. I mean, the first album sometimes can be an accumulation of 1,000 songs over 4 different careers.
Yes.
And that's the best.
Yes.
And you've had time to polish it, take it on the road, have people say, I don't like that song much, it's too long, cut a verse out. So I think then for somebody to say, okay, you've got 2 weeks, do that again.
Yeah, exactly.
That can be really hard. Yeah, exactly. Or better.
Another example would be the track Medicated off the album. I think when Rob brought it initially to the band, it was more of a poppy, rockier song, and it was upbeat. And then we kind of just said at rehearsal one day, we're like, well, let's just try and slow this thing down 100 times.
Just make it all acoustic.
And then it just worked out.
And it's haunting because you guys played that in the studio last time you were here.
Yeah. It has a sense of humor, but it's kind of sad.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's well, sometimes even something that has a sense of humor can still have that kind of melancholy or that thing that grabs you. You're a very, Rob, a very deep, kind of, there's something about your writing. I know I'm using haunting as the word, but it's sort of like something reaches in your chest and rips your heart out.
Yeah.
And even if it's a happy song, it still
kind of heartbreaking.
Pulls you that way.
Yeah.
It's still basically the whole album kind of heartbreaking.
Kind of heartbreaking. No, it's true. I don't know what it is, but when I write, it's you're writing from a place of passion and emotion, and because it's poetry, right? Like, what's going to move you to write? And some people write about changing the world's problems or whatever, or falling in love. Like, for me, for some reason, it lies in that place of being heartbroken or just sad for some reason, but not necessarily like weepy emo, but just like just that feeling of like.
But a good sad. It's like Irish poetry. I mean, I'm Irish, so I grew up on Irish poetry. Yeah. And even when it's happy, you still want to weep because it's making you feel so much.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily that it's all sad, but it's really pulling it out of you. It's like a gut wrencher.
Yeah. We have this song Cast Off on album ago, and it's the guy who gets really hurt, and he's in the hospital and falls in love with this nurse who he thinks likes him back because she's taking care of him. But at the end of the last verse, the door's open. He sees her with another patient, like doing the same thing, and he realizes it was just her job taking care of him. Like, but the whole thing's kind of funny at the same time. But
And a lot of your songs are like little mini movies. Too.
Yeah.
When I listen to All I Need every week when I play it on Music Highway, I mean, there's a little story, and I can feel it when I listen to it. And to me, that's when a song is really good. Is when the story, it's almost like reading a book. The story plays out in your head, and you envision everybody. And every time you listen to it, you get the same story, but you add different things in as you hear more.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you get thrown into the scene. Yeah.
Okay, so let's play something else from the album now, and then we're going to take a break, and when we come back, you guys are going to play live for me in studio. So this is All Right, and this is also from a brand new Hurt. The band is Louden Swain. From Louden Swain, actor Rob Benedict and guitar player Billy Moran are in the studio with me. It's the Sheena Metal Experience, LA Talk Radio. Check this out.
I find desertion may be my only crime. I waited in line, I paid the price, I took your advice, and now I'm alright. Alright. The car is too quiet and I'm heading home. My friend says it's better to not be alone, but I think my problem is the opposite of that. Then why am I racing to get myself back? I got off the track, a knife in my back, and you saved my ass, and now I'm alright. Now I'm alright. Now I'm alright. Alright. The highwaymen and I, they see a different kind of life than me. They never taught me what pride is for. So open the door, It's a scary procedure that I've got to make. My hands are still shaking, the decision's made. When you're not with me, oh, I wish that you were. Just know that in my head, I'm still unsure, but I'm taking a turn, and I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to learn. Alright. I am alright. Alright.
Radio.com, SheenaMetalExperience.com. Don't forget to email me and let me know what you think of the show. All this hour on the show from the band Louden Swain. Actor Rob Benedict, you know him from many things, including the hit show Supernatural, and his guitar player Billy Moran in the studio. And I've known these guys for forever, and last time they were here on the show, they did a fantastic in-studio performance. So I think I kind of insisted, didn't I, you guys, that it was an in-studio performance again. I'm like, Rob, you're gonna play in studio, right?
Yeah, exactly. Now it's our thing.
So what are you going to do now?
We're going to do a song called Pop-Tart Heart.
Fantastic. Everybody, Louden Swain on the Sheena Metal Experience live in studio. Check it out.
dream that I ate your heart. Toast. Oh, I was so taken away with what you were playing there. It was so pretty that I lost the lyrics.
That's how you know it's live, people.
It's live radio, and we're gonna start again. You can't finish what you started. Now there's a pack of broken-hearted dudes knocking at your door. The ticket's placing. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Boy, I'm really out of it. We're gonna.
It's okay. It happens.
Get this right.
It totally happens. It's live radio.
The cans are throwing me off.
All right, Pop Top Heart, take 3, and I can't even say it. You can't play it, and I can't say it. It's that day, people. Louden Swain. You can't finish what you started. Now there's a pack of broken-hearted dudes knocking at your door. They sink down in love, your belly tastes like a strawberry Pop-Tart, all hot and soft and sweet. Ooh, they're coming for us. Yeah, they're coming for us. I had a dream that I ate your heart, toasted like a strawberry Pop-Tart, all hot and soft and sweet. It took its place inside my belly, and the insides turned to jelly when it slowly began to beat. Ooh, they're coming for us. Yeah, they're coming for us. Payback is a bitch, and there's an itch, you gotta scratch it. If there's a will, there's a way. You don't get paid, you gotta nab it. It don't come for free. If there's a fee, you gotta pay it now. Ooh, they're coming for us. Yeah, they're coming for us. Na 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 na. Had a dream that I ate your heart. I had a dream that I ate your heart. Na 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 na. Everybody, that's Louden Swain. The song is called Pop-Tart Heart. See, then I got it right. See, we passed through the weird, energetic...
we passed through
our Mercury retrograde moment.
The thick-headed stage.
Wow. Just amazing, you guys. A fantastic performance. And you know what's amazing, Rob, is that your voice sounds just as beautiful in person as it does. I mean, my voice, I will be completely honest, in studio gets tweaked a lot. And clearly yours does not get tweaked as much.
Thank you, Sheena.
And I love that. You guys are amazing. And do you guys like the breakdown of just playing acoustic and kind of the organic nature of it?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's fun to sort of, you can play the song as it originally was, without the bells and whistles, which is fun.
Yeah, I love it, especially when you're doing leads on the acoustic, Billy, because you can really hear the picking and you can hear the parts really well, and
the mistakes.
And the mistakes, and you can hear every lyric, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
And I like that as well. And you can really hear the harmony, and there's something about a couple of acoustic guitars playing together that it has a neat resonant sound.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's fun. It's always fun whenever we get together and we're not supposed to be practicing. We're supposed to be talking business or whatever. We still pull out a couple of acoustics and pluck away.
Yeah, it was important when we were coming up with these songs for A Brand New Hurt that they could translate acoustically and we could do the whole album with as an acoustic, just a couple guitars. So
yeah. So maybe we should take this on the road, Billy.
I think you should.
We're hitting the road, boys.
I think it's becoming the new thing. And look at all the Supernatural fans that will get turned on to Vision Quest through Louden
Yes.
Swain. They'll be like, what is this new movie I must go and rent now because of the character?
Totally. It's aging us. When people ask us where the name comes from. Like, there's a movie in 1986.
Yeah, but as soon as it comes out, the remake, then that'll be done.
I know.
You guys will instantly be like 19 again.
Totally.
That'll be it. It'll be like, woohoo!
Yeah, totally.
Oh no, we're just out of college.
If we're not on that soundtrack, there's something wrong.
We just saw the remake. I'm amazed they haven't remade it, but maybe it was just too cool to remake, like Breakfast Club or.
Were we talking to you about this? We were told that they're
working on it.
That they were working on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. They remake everything. But supposedly the guy who's the werewolf in Twilight was who we were told might be Louden Swain.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the vampire.
But not the second lead.
Oh.
The one who was in the second Twilight.
Oh. I haven't seen the second Twilight.
There's
yet.
the werewolf. He was like on SNL. I can't remember that actor's name. Cute kid.
Yeah.
Really funny.
From SNL to
he was
to
on
Louden
SNL.
Swain.
Nobody was on. He was like a guest host on SNL. He actually did really well.
That's cool.
Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
Lawton. Taylor
Yes.
Lawton.
Yes, he was in the first one as well.
Was he?
I think.
Yes.
Yeah, and he was cool.
Yeah.
So that's good. All right, that's
So
cool.
there you go. Look out for that. I don't know. We'll see.
Do you hate that when they remake?
There are movies where I just don't think certain movies should be remade. There are movies that were just classic as they were.
Are you guys old enough to remember Vision Quest, or did you see it on cable?
Dude, totally, we're old enough. That's
Okay.
one of the reasons. I mean, I am. Billy's not necessarily.
My brothers used to watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, like over and over again? It was
Yeah, all
like
the
Dude
time.
Night with Playboy and Vision Quest. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we originally thought of the name, it was because we all had loved that movie
Yeah.
when we were.
Me too.
that age.
To me, it's the one that spoke to me. People are about the Footloose, the Breakfast Club, and for me, it was Vision Quest.
Yeah, and it was kind of the alt. It's like kind of the alt '80s classic movie. Like a lot of people don't know about it, but
Yeah.
the people that do really love it. I mean, it's Rocky, man. It's like you
Yeah.
know.
It's about, to me, it kind of epitomizes our generation, which we were the generation that were very much about, like, what's going on and how can we better ourselves? And, we were the aerobics generation. What can I do that's a challenge? And in a kind of a weird way, none of us did a lot of it, but we talked about it a lot. And that's I think that's really the film about, that's what I like about it, is that he has a goal and he's going to do it. He's got to starve himself or sleep with Linda Fiorentino.
Yeah, totally.
Whatever he's going to do to get there to
Totally.
burn the calories.
Yeah, and
he's going to do it.
And Matthew Modine, was his acting,
Yeah, he's
especially
amazing.
then, was so raw and
Yeah.
real, and that was another cool. He's so quirky and
Yeah.
weird in that movie, and
Yeah,
great.
he's I know I used this before the show. We were talking about Supernatural and Jim Beaver and how great he was on the show. Matthew Modine's an actor's actor. I mean, he really enjoys acting.
Yeah,
It's
he
not
really-
about, look at me, I'm pretty. It's not about, I want money. It's
Yeah.
about, he would act in a black box.
Totally, yeah,
And,
and feel it.
yeah, and love it.
Yeah,
And
totally.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it makes you remember why we all wanted to do this in the first place.
Totally.
And
yeah.
it's easy to get sidetracked with the bigness of the business and all the different things about it, and forget why you wanted to do it in the first place.
Yeah, no, he was incredible, and that's why Louden Swain stuck with us. It was like that and Lloyd Dobler. Do you know who Lloyd Dobler is from Say Anything?
Yeah, but that was later, right?
That was a
'Cause
little
Vision
later.
Quest was more when I was
Vision
just
Quest, I think,
out of
was
high
86.
school. Yeah, and then
Lloyd
Say
Dobler's like
Anything was like 88 or
Yeah.
89.
Yeah, that was all my era.
Yeah. Did you love Say Anything with the
Loved it.
boombox, and
Loved
that
it.
was
Lloyd
all he
Dobler.
wanted to do?
Yeah, and that's a classic.
Yeah, me too.
Classic Cusack.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and Breakfast Club. Did you say they're not really remaking Breakfast
No,
Club?
I don't think they'll ever remake
Please
the
don't.
John Hughes.
Like-
They will someday, But I don't think for a long time they will.
Yeah.
They'll ever remake that.
That would be a shame. I loved that movie.
Yeah.
I love when I was that age. Like, that spoke to my angst.
Yeah. Were you angsty?
You know, I just...
Because you don't seem angsty now, but then I listen to the songs and I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Exactly. No, I mean, no, I don't consider myself that but when I'm alone in my car, you know, I'm listening to angsty music.
Yeah, me too.
You know?
I love
Bouncing
that.
off the walls.
And I thought it was just my weird maudlin Irish thing, but I'm the same way. Like, give me a really depressing song, and I'm in.
I kind of like to feel sad, and
Yeah,
but not
me
in the
too.
like I wear black sort of way.
No,
like,
it's on the inside. Like,
Yeah.
it's this like throws the humans off.
yeah, like I said.
Yeah. I like to look normal on the outside, but I'm a little more
Inside-
goth on the inside.
inside
than
I'm
people would
breaking
think.
apart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Yeah, and I think that's what I liked about Vision Quest was that Louden Swain had the pathos, and he's a little melancholy, and he was a little introverted, and he was just all about his spiritual quest, and that really spoke to me more than a lot of things that were going on in the 80s, like girls just want to have fun, and,
Right, yeah, the really...
the fun poppy. Now I look back and I love those movies and I laugh.
Yeah.
But he was the one that really grabbed me.
Yeah, there was
Even
really...
Footloose. I lived in LA. I wasn't being oppressed by anything.
Right,
I had liberal parents.
Right.
So probably if I had been oppressed, Footloose would have really spoken to me.
Yeah, totally.
But and I didn't really fit into Breakfast Club because I was the theater geek, and there wasn't really a theater geek.
Yeah, I guess there was the Ali Sheedy, who was just
Kinda.
a weird girl. But yeah,
Weird.
But see, I associated myself with Michael. What's his name?
Yeah, Anthony Michael Hall.
Anthony Michael Hall. Yeah, I mean that was the character that I thought I'd play. That was what I wanted to be in it. Like I wanted to play that guy.
And were you acting then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean not professionally out here. I was in Missouri doing community
Right, but
theater.
yeah, you were doing theater and being young.
Yeah, and wanting to do this. And so that was what it was for me. Was I just wanted to be that character.
Yeah.
And kind of associate it with that guy.
I like Judd's character.
Oh yeah, he's the
Yeah.
I just wouldn't play that.
You know what I loved from that era was I loved the Savage Steve Holland films. One Crazy Summer, Better Off Dead.
Oh yeah,
That was those were the ones that really grabbed me with that really absurd, hysterical humor.
Dark too.
So I would have
dark
wanted
humor.
to have been a character in Better Off Dead.
Yes, totally. Again, even more classic Cusack.
Yeah, the total classic,
Yeah.
the old Cusack.
Which is I want my $2.
oh, that's
it.
Better Off
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
4
with
weeks,
the
20
$2
papers.
and
Yeah.
the weird Ricky the fat guy and
Yeah.
the weird mom that blew up.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Awesome.
And now they would be all over that. Like, that's not politically correct to laugh because someone's
Totally.
mom blew up, and you
Yeah.
can't make fun of fat children, and it's wrong to rip off a child and not give him his $2.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes you like it was a more irreverent time when you could laugh at more
Yeah.
and not be so PC.
I know, man. It's hard.
And that's kind of cool. So
Yeah.
where can people find you guys online?
We're at loudenswain.com. We're at
Twitter /Louden Swain 1. You can follow us on Twitter. We are on Facebook, facebook.com/Louden Swain. And then we have a bunch of YouTube videos up there, which we have to...
under Louden Swain Music.
Yeah.
There's a video for All I Need, and then a lot of sort of homemade videos that we've been doing.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And Billy, you've got a website.
BillyMoran.com.
And Rob, do you have your
I'm on the Twitter with the Rob Benedict.
That's right.
There's a robbenedict.com. You can also check out. There's pictures and stuff of me and of the band. And then, the people have been making all these crazy Chuck fan sites, which are really fun.
Do you love? I've got to go look for those. That's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it's
Are you
fun.
loving it? Is it all kinds of different, conspiracy theories and what
Yeah.
Chuck's up to?
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
yeah. I love
funny,
those.
yeah.
I think fan sites rule.
They're rule. They're great.
And when is your next gig with Louden Swain?
June 18th, we're playing at the Mint with a band called City Museum. And it's their final show. It's going to be a big show here at the Mint on Pico.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And the Mint is a great place.
Yeah, it's great.
What are some of your favorite places in town to play?
We play the Mint a lot. I love the Viper Room.
Yeah, I do too.
That's always been that's not your normal Sunset Boulevard club.
Yeah, I
And-
like it too.
And especially if you can fill it up.
What about Key Club? Do you like Key Club?
Have you played there? I've not played there.
No. I'm looking to play there.
It's awesome.
Yeah, we played the Roxy and the Whiskey, and those are fine, but I don't know. There's something a little more intimate about the Viper Room.
Yeah, I agree. A little more hands-on. And the sound guys there are amazing.
Yes.
And they take wonderful care of you. They make you feel like a total rock star.
And they tell you that when you come in, they're like, Don't worry about it. We
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
There's
Don't
one
do
guy-
anything but stand out here. We'll tell you when to come. We'll
yeah.
tell you when to go.
Exactly.
And I like that story
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, me too.
I don't have to do anything or think about anything.
Exactly.
I just stand there.
Exactly.
But sometimes I think you need that because I think too many musicians in two different bands overthinking the process.
Yeah, and look, I mean, on a gig night, like my brain is elsewhere. I need someone to kind of tell me where to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all I could do.
It's awesome. You guys are great. Will you come back and see me again? I would
Absolutely,
love that.
we love it.
Play some more music?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Everybody, Rob Benedict, he's on Supernatural. Go check it out if you have not seen every episode. And that's what Netflix is for, and that's what
Yeah.
Amazon.com is for.
Exactly.
And Louden Swain albums are available where?
Loudenswain.com, and we have them on iTunes and everywhere else. Yeah, everywhere online. So
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's the Sheena Metal Experience on LA Talk Radio. If you missed any of the links for Rob or Billy or Louden Swain, hit me up at SheenaMetalExperience.com or LATalkRadio.com, and I will forward them right over to you. Why? Because it's the Sheena Metal Experience on LA Talk Radio. Quick break. We're right back with you.